Welcome to another DorkLair collecting video. It's that time again. We have a new Mythic Legions wave. This is All-Stars 5+. The All-Stars waves are traditionally waves where the collectors vote and then they reissue a number of hard to find, older, sought after figures to get them back into circulation and give people a chance to get the older figures, which happened in this wave. 3 of those. Then, typically, they also do the Masters of the Universe tribute figures for PowerCon debut. And yes, there's 2 of those this time as well. But this time, this is a plus wave. So we are getting also a number of brand new figures and even a new product in this wave with the heads pack. So we've got quite a few things. We have 3 reissue figures. We have 2 Masters of the Universe tribute figures. We have 4 brand new standard characters, and then we have a horse and heads pack as just other types of products there. So yeah, so this is a pretty big All-Stars wave, I guess. Usually the last 2 or 3, you had the 4 figures, the 2 tributes, and then you had the troll. So you had 6 figures and a troll, right? This time you have 9 figures, a horse, and a heads pack. One thing that this wave does is it brings back something Four Horsemen used to do, which was they used to release smaller in-between waves that would have kind of a theme. So you had the Colosseum wave of gladiators, and you had the Seajet Bjorngar wave or the Wasteland wave, right? And those are smaller waves in between their bigger, either their bigger Kickstarters or their bigger like Aether wave or something like that. And they've kind of come away from that lately. They've been doing like All-Stars and then their main wave, All-Stars and then their main wave. And this brings back that feeling because these additional 5 figures, the horse and the 4 other figures, kind of give me that theme, right? You got 2 Aether characters, 2 Zylernia's Flock characters, and the horse that kind of goes with these. And it kind of brings that back, these smaller themed waves. So it's a mix. It's like one of those All-Star waves plus one of those themed waves mixed in together. And I like that. I think it's great. So the details on this pre-order is that it begins Friday, July 29th, and it will run until, I think they said September 4th. So that gives you about 5 weeks to plan and figure out what you want to order. And I'll kind of go through all the pricing as we go. Almost everything is a standard $37 figure. Then you have the $55 horse and the $30 heads pack. And the all-in, which I think would add up to $418, is actually discounted down to $385. So pretty good prices there. It's not, a $500 buy-in type wave. It's a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's dive into these figures, and I'm kind of breaking the video into the different segments of types of figures. So we'll start off with the true All-Stars, the ones that were voted on. So back in, I think, like March or so, they gave us the chance to vote on figures from a list of their choosing. It wasn't every single figure, but the winners of the vote were starting here with Romulus. And so Romulus was, I think, the Colosseum wave. So pretty old figure, definitely was up in like the 200 to 300 range in the aftermarket. So this will knock that right back down, gives people a chance to get it. He's one of my favorite figures. The paint scheme on it is so good. It's just got a ton of detail, weathering, everything you want in a Mythic Legions figure. It kind of like showcases a lot of their skills. So Romulus, $37. And then you have Ilgar, who is a skeleton with a super rusted out kind of look to all of the armor and stuff. And he's got the bearded head plus the skeleton head. I've wanted this one for a long time. I'd say this was probably the most of the 3. This one was probably the highest in the aftermarket. And it was in the vote many years in a row and just didn't quite make the cut. So it's nice to see him finally win. I'll probably be getting an extra of this. I'll be getting an extra of Romulus for parts and stuff because they have such awesome parts. Super detailed paint on these. These were, not 1.0. I think Ilgar was like 1.5. And so they kind of like upped the ante with the paint jobs on these. And then rounding out the 3 All-Stars, you have Azar, who I'm really excited for because we got Zazar, his brother, and we're also going to be getting the combined form of them in Azahazar later. So getting Azar is just a really big win because it's like a hole in my collection. And another one, like all three of these were, 200 plus at least before the reissues. So nice little subsection of All-Stars. Moving on, we have two Masters of the Universe tributes. Okiedos, who is their web store tribute, and they're bringing in the spider theme by giving him multiple arms. These are the arms from the Alithia figure, and this is pretty cool. I think of all of the Masters of the Universe tribute figures, this one feels a little more color-wise to match up. Like it kind of has those Shadow Elf colors. I know it's a darker, brighter blue, but the purple and the blue I feel like is a very Mythic Legions color scheme. So Webstore definitely lends himself more so to Legion's colors, in my opinion, than a lot of the other Masters of the Universe characters. And he's got alternate head as well. So he's got like essentially vampire stuff going on. He's like a vampire skeleton. It would be cool if he came with a skull, though. I think that would be nice. The other tribute figure is Xenothon, who is their Stratos tribute, essentially, going with the same color schemes. This one in particular, I think, is going to be excellent for part swapping because it's essentially got that dark gray orc body that's going to make for some awesome kit bashes and part swapping. This one's loaded as well because it's got a pair of wings and it's still only $37. So fantastic value in this pack right here. And it's also got the alternate orc head, almost ape-like with the flesh tone in the face, contrasting with the paint of the rest of the head. And both of these figures will be available at PowerCon. So if you're going to PowerCon, you'll be able to buy them there. They cost a little more at PowerCon, like $45, I think, because they usually have them air rushed over or something like that. And the quantities will be limited. So if you're at PowerCon and you want these, go to their table early because you never know, they could sell out. Next up, we have 4 brand new characters, and this is where things get interesting because this is like a brand new mini wave within the wave. First, from Zylona's flock, we have the Zylernian Guard. Zylernia is, I believe, the forest where the flock resides. So we have the Zylernian Guard. It's got the tabard style torso, and mixing in some of the newer parts that just came out in the Alithia wave. It's got this brand new shield, brand new helmet, and you're getting a couple versions of the helmet with it. But yeah, I love this figure so much. Forest Knight. It's going to come with both a cloth loincloth and the traditional plastic loincloth that you've been seeing with all the figures going back through the line. So yeah, a lot of cool things going on. This is the first All-Stars. Well, I guess technically All-Stars 2 had a new part, which had the Deltagar head in there. But for the most part, All-Stars waves do not introduce new parts. And the cool thing about these is that it's not going to slow down production because all of the parts introduced in this wave have already been tooled. So this will be as quick as the usual All-Stars, which are usually quicker than the other waves. Most of the new waves with tons of new tooling take 1.5 years, sometimes up to 2 years, but All-Stars waves usually take less than a year. So there we have the Zylernian Guard, again, another $37 figure. Next we have Swig, a brand new goblin. He's an alchemist and mixes potions and things. And we have this brand new head sculpt, mixing in some of the newer parts like the pauldrons and belt and staff from the Alithia wave, and older parts like the goblin stuff, and a brand new head sculpt here. So that hooded goblin head is going to be a lot of fun. And we have C. Jessam designed cloth goods in that skirt piece. And this is making me like immediately want more goblins with cloth goods. So I'll probably get a couple of these guys. Next up, we have Lady Avarona, who is an evil female knight from the faction Arethyr, and she will also come with both the cloth and plastic loincloth piece. But she's got this somewhat new head sculpt. The main part of the head is from Hadriana, but then the visor piece, the front mask part of it, is brand new. And of course, the head's painted differently than, with the red eyes and stuff. So, the under helmet with the face underneath, that is Hadriana, and then you have the new mask up front. So very cool female knight. And finally, for the standard $37 brand new characters, we have Dubon, brand new head sculpt. It's got a new head sculpt on the Falcon, which is the same body Falcon as the one that came with Valak, but with a new head sculpt here. And of course, a new paint job. And we have this kind of silver blue thing going on and a brand new type of cape. I'm excited for this type of cape that goes over the top rather than pegging into the back. So this is going to be a great one. I will get at least one of these, but I will probably get a couple more just for like the parts, especially having extras of that cape. So much value in the pieces where you have the Siege Essam wired cloth goods. And I mean, he's loaded with hands. It's almost like he comes with a whole hands pack. And then the last section are the two other products. So these are not $37. These are differently priced items. So first of all, we have Boreus, which is a brand new horse that has parts from both Boreus and Aethon. So it's a pretty cool one. And it's got the switch out manes. So it does have both manes. It's got the mane flowing in the wind and the mane that's just resting. So very cool gray horse. Nice addition. I know people have, been hunting for your basic horse like Boreus, and this gives a new option for people to have, kind of like a non-character specific horse if you choose to do so. And Boreus is $55. If you look at Boreus in the aftermarket, you're probably talking $150, but for $55, these are an awesome value. I really like these horses at that price. Finally, we have the heads pack. We have 6 heads that are 5 of which are repaints, and then 1 is a brand new sculpt. So we have the Hellfire Goblin's open mouth head painted in the colors of the Bog Goblin. So this kind of like completes the look of the Bog Goblin. If you have a Bog Goblin, this will go well. Or any dwarf body that this will be perfect for. We have a red demon head sculpt for your, if you want to like match it up with like a Fury Clan orc or with the red Krampus that's going to be coming out later this year. And then you could put him next to Zarya and have like a pair like that, a male and a female red demon. We have a repainted Joran Rune Shaper head sculpt. It's a really hard to find figure. And this is a nice dwarf head, because oftentimes the dwarfs don't really come with faces. So this is a nice reissue to have back in the mix there. And here we have a female warrior head sculpt, which is the Gwendolyn Heavensbrand head, repainted with red hair. Always nice to get character heads because a lot of things come with helmeted head sculpts, and then this kind of gives a good option for switching. And then we have the Jaguelian head sculpt painted in black. Pretty basic, but I think I would rather just get the heads and put it on a black body like the Krampus or something than, have them release a whole black colored, Panther Jaguelian. Finally, I would say the highlight for me of the heads pack is a brand new vampire head sculpt, kind of based on some of the other vampire heads, but now you have a screaming mouth, so more emotion. I hope to see a lot more going forward where they include, even like have a figure with like an alternate head sculpt that has 2 different expressions. So really nice to have expressive head sculpts introduced to the line. They've started to add expressive hands. They're really filling out this line, and it's every year there's some kind of like new element to it that's fun, and now we have expressive head sculpts. So just to recap, when ordering direct, you have your 9 $37 figures, you have your one $55 horse, and then you have your $30 heads pack. Couple things to note: when you pre-order direct, you do pay up front. So, you're buying figures that you're going to get, maybe 6 to 12 months from now that you're paying for now. So just be aware of that. If you want the other option to pay later, there are plenty of retailers that after the end of the direct pre-order window on September 5th or whatever, they will open up pre-orders, but they are a little bit more. So like the $37 figures will probably be $50. The horse I think is like $75. The heads pack will probably be like $45 when you do that. But again, you don't have to. You can pre-order ahead of time and you can pay later. So that's kind of the way. I personally always recommend trying to budget yourself so that you can pre-order direct. It's the best way to do it. You have 5 weeks, set a budget, start saving your pennies a little bit each week, sell a few figures and, order direct. That's my recommendation. Anyway, that should do it for the video. Thanks for checking it out. And until next time, may the force be with you.